This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day, and that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from all across the vast reaches of the internet. I hope each and every single one of you is doing absolutely spectacular on this fine Tuesday morning, whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, evening, or into the night. Welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Now remember, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, please, I'm begging you, sire, to leave us a rating and also leave us a review. It helps out the show so immensely much. If you go ahead and do that, that would be greatly and vastly appreciated. Remember, you can respond to this week's episode's question by going to the description of the episode in Spotify. And if you scroll down, you should see a comment section, a comments feature, and I'll read out that response out loud on the next week's following episode. This is an ad-supported show, so you'll take an ad break after reading out the responses, and then another short ad break into the show, a little bit into the show after that. Please go ahead and join our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us on Reddit, where there's a new mega thread posted every week, and you can talk all things Reddit Asks Us related. We can't let it get infiltrated by another group of people obsessed with feet. So, anyways, why don't we... And also, we do a Would You Rather every single week. So, and I forgot to read out the last week's one, but it was so good. It was funny. I can't believe I didn't... Oh, annoying. Anyways, I'm going to keep... There's so much to remember when I'm doing the show, so I have to, keep myself, dialed in. So last week's episode was, or I guess maybe let's read out the results from last week's poll. So last week's Would You Rather was, would you rather your internet history or your texts be made public? Wow. You dirty dogs. We had a 50-50 split on this one. So geez, it's, we got some sinners in the chat, okay? Everyone is kind of split right down the middle on this one. Can't decide whether I'm a horrible person whenever I'm on Google, or if I'm a horrible person when I'm texting my friends. That's a tough one, folks. That's a really tough one. I would probably choose internet history. I don't really look up that kind of crazy of stuff. Maybe some really, really stupid questions, but goddamn, if my IG group chat with the boys got leaked, not that we're really that bad or do anything that bad, but you know how far you take a joke? We may be on a watch list for how far we take some of these jokes. It's concerning. It would be concerning, but it's sarcasm. Trust me. It's sarcasm. I wasn't gonna bomb that KFC. It was just sarcasm. We were joking. Please, officer. No, but see, even still, right? Did I say that? Maybe, but none of you guys are ever going to be alive to tell anyone. No, I'm just kidding. All right, folks. We're going to read up the responses from last week's episode. So last week's episode was, what made you quit your job immediately? First one comes from Phil Savannah. This question is very similar to your episode 138. Let's get creative, Luke. Also, I hate to admit, but your Russian hot dog stand owner accent was really good. Why do you hate to admit that? I never understand when people say, I hate to admit that you did this cool thing. Or you did this interesting thing. Why? You don't have to hate that to admit that. That's fine. It's just a thing that I did. You know what you should hate is if I was being racist, if I was being sexist or misogynistic. Yeah, that's a good reason to hate my podcast. Man, I don't want to be a hater, bro. But I'm going to be a hater, bro. That Russian accent was good, bro. Fuck you for having that good Russian accent. Seriously, fuck you, bro. I'm just playing. But thanks, though. The Russian accent is one I take pride on. But honestly, this isn't a show I'm too concerned about with repeated topics, because sometimes like when you go on the subreddits or when you go on Askreddit, it's like, yeah, I've seen this one 40,000 times, and it's the same people commenting every single time, and they comment the same shit, bro. That's what makes me mad. But some of them are interesting. Like a lot of the story-based ones, like, if I've done the episode before, it's almost like a part 2, right? Like there's thousands of comments like every day. So for some of the interesting ones, I'm not super concerned about like doing them again. I think it's actually kind of the beauty of the show is that when these questions resurface, people give different answers. New people who never saw the question before, they might give an interesting story or answer. So it's always kind of different that way. So I appreciate your joke, but in all seriousness, I actually do think it's like it's kind of fun to redo some of the questions, see what the new stories are. Catch the tea. Next one comes from Ghost. What's up, Luke? I don't have an answer for this question this week, but great episodes, and I actually have a question for you and everyone else. I've recently lost my dog this last November, and he has been with me for almost 10 years, and I can't stop thinking about him, and it's been causing me so much pain. I don't know what to do. That is a difficult situation. Thank you for saying the good the good episodes. I really appreciate that. I don't want to take too much time up with this in the beginning of the show, but everything in our lives is always changing. We can't ever expect anything to stay the same. And once we do try to expect things to stay the same, that's when we start to get into trouble, and that's when we start to hurt our own feelings, because we attach ourselves to these ideas, these outcomes, these things. And not that there isn't a level of healthy attachment, of course there is, but at a certain point, we have to understand that change is the nature of life. We're all always changing all the time. I would categorize myself as like a secular Buddhist. So in Buddhism, we talk a lot about things like you can't ever step in the same river twice. So we can't expect the world to not function how the world naturally functions. And death is one of those things that is traumatizing. It's extremely difficult. But the most important thing is to recognize that the life that your pet had was a life of quality. Your pet had a good quality life, and that's all that any living thing and being can ask for. Is once we extend what we call in Buddhism loving kindness and compassion. I mean, obviously everyone knows what compassion is, but in Buddhism we call it loving kindness. And when we extend that to things, the world, and other people, that is the extent of what we can control. And that the fact that you did that means that you did a good thing, and we're now at a point where we can loosen up our tight grip onto things and accept the fact that things won't stay the same forever, but we can appreciate what things are and what things were. And that is something that we can be motivated by. That's something that we can be thankful for. So honestly, a lot of it is gratitude. I think that grief honestly has a lot to do with gratitude, right? You cherish something, you are so thankful for something, and when that thing is gone, it's devastating. But that doesn't change the fact that all of those moments, all of that relationship was built up in such a positive and helpful and useful way in the world. So it's something to be truly thankful for. So sometimes our grievances and our grief can turn into gratefulness. And anyways, I don't want to harp on that too long, but I'm sorry about that. But what we say in Buddhism is we love with an open hand and not a closed fist. So we can appreciate and love the fact that we love something, but we don't need to grip onto it forever, because we can't grip onto anything forever. Everything's always changing and moving and constantly adapting all the time. Last one from Spotify comes from Fian3900. Dang, it's been a while since I've commented. Well, thank you for commenting. I finally caught up on the episodes, and I'm here to stay. Let's go. The thing that made me quit immediately was I saw the manager whipping someone. Yeah, instantly 180-degree turn. Hope you have a great day. The manager whipping somebody? What is this, the 1800s? Is this fucking, were you working on a plantation or something? When was this? Whipping someone? Was that like was that like, oh no, I have a work kink. So I just get the manager, whip me on the back a couple times, just give me a little spanking, and I'll be really motivated to go back to work. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Last one comes from our subreddit. Comes from the Dopic. Hi, Luke. Hope you're having an amazing day. I absolutely am. For the poll, I think I'd rather my internet history get leaked because the worst thing I've ever searched up was the hub out of curiosity. Yeah, okay, out of curiosity. I'm so sure. And traumatized me and never went back there. Sorry if that was too NSFW. For the question, I've never had to quit a job, but I know a cousin whose manager made him stay on for random hours. I'm talking 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. Bro's got it backwards, man. It's supposed to be the other way around. And then come back at 2 p.m. and work until midnight. It was always unpredictable. It wasn't in the job description either. He quit after a month. Keep up the good work, Luke. Well, thanks. That seems like a violation of probably like every labor law in existence. Like, I don't think that one's too justifiable. Like, as a manager, you can't be like, well, he deserved it, okay? He deserved those hours for misbehaving on the job. So I just threw him more shifts and made him suck it up. This is what happens, all right? This is what happens when you make mistakes. You got to work for it, okay? You got to work for the mistakes that you've made. So I just kind of had to throw it to him. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're going to read off the Would You Rather, and we'll take a quick break. This one's a more lighter one than last week. I'm not trying to expose everybody every single week. Would you rather be a rock star or a movie star? Now, this is an interesting one. This is going to really depend on what people like to do in their free time, but also I feel like the lifestyles are very different. The lifestyles of a movie star and lifestyle of a rock star, they're not one and the same. People treat rock stars different than they treat movie stars. We're going to take a quick ad break, and then we'll be back with this week's episode.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Virtuo Pup, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for withstanding the break, and we're going to hop into this week's episode. So, as you can see by the episode title, what is the most terrifying we need to leave now moment you've ever experienced? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I definitely know that this is pretty common. There's a lot of interesting stories here, but I wonder what do you guys think about gut feelings? Do you think that's like a real, do you think it's like a real thing? Like you just sense something's off and you get this gut feeling and you just got to dip? Because I feel like I've had that before, and I can't decide if this is, if I'm like Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean? It's like, is this just me? Am I? And then I do the web thing, and then just nothing comes out. And I'm kind of like a little bit underwhelmed, but I'm like, maybe I have to keep trying. Maybe this is like invincible, It's only going to work if I have to work at being a superhero. It doesn't come naturally to me. So I'm just I just keep doing the little web slinging motion with my hands, and it hasn't really been working out for me, but I'm starting to think, I got a pretty good gut feeling. So I feel like this is maybe the beginnings. I got COVID recently, so maybe this is my immune system's kind of beefing up, and I'm gonna start, morphing into like some human mutant kind of thing. That would be pretty sick. First one comes from SMR Rogo. Years back, I was walking into a bank. As I pushed on the door, I locked eyes with the teller inside. She was looking at me, shaking her head. No. Then I saw a person with a gun was robbing the place. I quickly backed up and ran to my car. I called 911. Someone may have shit my pants. Not sure who, though. Damn. I mean, like, could you imagine if he just went in instead? He just saw the gun and was like, Listen, bro, I'm really not here to be a part of the whole heist holdup thing. I just saw this really awesome sweater on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm just here to pick up $40, bro. Honestly, just here to pick up $40. Honestly, could I actually just take $40 from that giant bag of money you're holding? I feel like that maybe we can just streamline this. Maybe we can skip the extra steps, you know? This is I don't know why that is making me think of it, because maybe this is a bank robbery, it's making me think of legal stuff. But I watched RoboCop last night for the first time. That movie is not for kids, okay? That movie is like just at random points super, super violent and just very gory. Like with the scene where bro crashes into a vat of like toxic waste, and then it comes crashing all over him and his skin starts melting off. Like, bro, I would have been like scarred, traumatized as a child for watching. I thought RoboCop was some like, you know, badass kind of sick, cool movie. No, it is, but you probably shouldn't watch that until you're like 13 years old, you know? I think there's a decent reason why, you know, that movie is rated as it is. There's like a random scene where someone like the movie is not that violent to start with. I mean, it kind of is, but then there's just one scene where this massive robot comes in and just fucking obliterates this one dude, just like to fucking dust, and then everyone's kind of just standing around like, that was pretty fucking crazy, huh? That was pretty crazy. That was pretty wild. Did you guys just see that? It's like in an office building. It's like this massive robot just comes in and fucking starts killing everybody. And then everyone's kind of just afterwards is like, that was fucking wild, bro. That was crazy. All right. Are we going to sign these papers and get this business deal done or what? Because fucking Buddy's clearly dead. He's not going to provide a signature, okay? So we need someone else, maybe a secretary, person of witness who can say we signed this. Honestly, bro, I don't know if they're ever going to find the person who shit your pants, bro. Straight up. You never might find that person. A reply from YouBrave015. About 2 months ago, I'd stayed up past my usual bedtime, and as soon as I got into bed, I smelled something odd and was hearing some inconsistent banging and clattering from downstairs. I don't live in a great neighborhood, so none of this was unusual, but I got out of bed to check anyways and saw flames licking up the side of the building. Yelled at my wife to get out of bed and threw on our clothes, and we hightailed it out. Our building has a shared wall with the next one that had an apartment on the ground floor, fully engulfed. Wow! By the time we made it outside, ended up condemning the whole building, and I was the first one to call 911. Then he goes, I may have been jerking myself awake in the night pretty consistently since then. Oh, jerking myself. Okay. That was not a great choice of words, bro. Not a great choice of words. Yeah, bro. Ever since the house fire, bro, I've just been fucking cranking it out every night. Just cranking one out. Just banging it out, dude. Every night, dude. It's something about the fire, bro. Just, you know, I gotta relax before I fall asleep, so I'm just freaking... just cranking my hog, bro. Just cranking it. Just absolutely doing a double 360 twist, triple axle on that thing before I go to bed. Like, just the way that you phrase that, bro, is not... You could have done a lot better, bro. And why was that a reply? That was a reply to the bank one. That has nothing to... It's like, yeah, that was... You know, I almost got caught up in a bank robbery, and that was pretty crazy. You know, I saw this guy with a big gun and bag full of money. It was like Grand Theft Auto or something. Wow, dude, literally the same thing happened to me. I was in a house fire. What? House fire? What the fuck? Like, what do you mean, the house fire? I was in a bank robbery. I avoided a bank robbery. Yeah, I just told you about how I was literally in a house fire. Were you not fucking listening, bro? The fire was licking up the walls, man. It was fucking hot as shit. Bro, I didn't know what to do. I had to jerk myself off, man. It was crazy, bro. What the fuck is going on? What a weird reply. Next one comes from Damn Baby. Hiking in the mountains, sun was setting, and we heard this low guttural growl that just vibrated through the trees. Had no idea what it was, but the hair on my neck stood up, and we booked it down that trail faster than I thought was possible. Felt like something was haunting us, and it wasn't friendly. Man, I love nature. I love the woods, but bro, like, when you're deep into the woods like that, like, okay, listen, friends, I am from, honestly, you can honestly kind of be in low-key anywhere from Canada, like, or from anywhere in Canada, and have experienced a certain level of wilderness. Like, it is a big country, and, not a lot of people live here. It's like 36 million, 38 million maybe people live in this country. Not a lot of people. And we're the second largest country in terms of landmass in the entire world. So there's lots of it is uninhabitable. It's Arctic. But there's a giant portion of our country. It's literally just wilderness, bro. And I grew up in this province of Saskatchewan, which is right in the middle of the country. Ish, and I guess it's the West. They call it the West. It is I guess the western side of the country, but it's kind of in the middle, and a Midwest, maybe that's why they call it that. Anyways, like Saskatchewan is not a very populated province, especially in the northern part. In the northern part, there's a certain point where the road just stops. Like the road, if you just start, it turns from a highway to a highway to a gravel road, and then the road just kind of ends. Like it just doesn't. there's no turnaround sign. There's no dead end up ahead. It just stops, and then it's just a wall of trees, and then you are truly in the wilderness. But I'm telling you, bro, like I've been up there, man. And I've been deep into the woods. My grandparents and my dad are huge outdoors people. I spent a lot of time in the remote wilderness as a kid. And bro, I'm telling you, you don't feel safe. Like I used to clutch my little wooden spear that my grandpa made me. Like whenever I was with them, I'm like, I don't know what's about to go down here, but there's some shit, bro. There's some serious shit that's about to go down here, and I'm prepping for it. And I just couldn't imagine running into like a mountain lion. Like I just couldn't imagine being in that situation. Like a mountain lion, I would be like, okay, I guess I'm completely fucked. I guess I'm just, this is just, wow, okay, I didn't, it's over for me. That's just wow, this is interesting to know this is how it ends. Cool, very cool. So I'm screwed. And this is how I die. I'm going to be ripped apart from shreds. I'm going to have teeth being sank into my neck by a wild giant cat. I would have never predicted that this is the way that I was going to go out. But honestly, like, can you really even put up a fight against these things? Like they're claws, bro. Like they're gonna scratch you, kill you, bro. This is a bear. Could you imagine running into a bear? Like, you might as well, honestly, if you run into a bear, you're probably better off just trying to end it yourself, man. Just finding a way to end it yourself, bro. Swallow the bear spray. I don't even know, dude. You're screwed. Next one comes from Significant Bet 7783. I was in Curitiba, Brazil. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Curitiba, Brazil, at a communist-themed bar called Fidel. The bartender was wearing a Che Guevara hat and sort of had that look. I was with the 4 other Americans and had that look. He's just wearing a suit that's just the hammer and sickle, and it's just a giant red and gold suit, just with the stars and the hammer and sickle. It's like something about him, something about this guy. I'm thinking communist. Something's telling me about, I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it. After a while, the bar emptied out and we were the only ones there aside from the bartender. Suddenly, the bartender went over to the door, locked it, and closed a metal shutter over it. So we were trapped inside. He looked at us and pointed to a stairwell and said, "Upstairs now." We were all freaked out, but figured better do what he says because he seemed serious. We went upstairs to the small room with chairs and a coffee table, thinking he was going to rob us or kill us or something. He said, "Get upstairs now," and you just chose to do it after you just said he was going to rob you or kill you. Why wouldn't you just leave? We wait there in tense silence for a few minutes. Then he comes upstairs with a huge bong and explains he closed the shutter because one of the customers in the bar previously had harassed some tourists and pulled a knife out on one the other day, and tends to linger around drunk outside the bar. He suggested we wait upstairs for 30 minutes or so until the guy had stumbled home. Then he smoked us out on this huge bong, and we had a laugh before going back to the hostel. Well, I mean, that's probably the best way that could have gone. You know, it's nice that he was looking out for you and was, you know, not, he could have easily just been like, fuck these Americans, bro. I'm a freaking communist, dude. I'm a freaking communist, bro. You got to understand, if you're going to be American, man, coming up here with your capitalism, coming down here, you got to watch out for those drunkards with the knives at the bars, bro. That's just, every communist knows that. Every communist knows that. From when you're born, you're basically born with the information. Don't go to the bars close to hostels with the weird drunk guys because they might have a knife and try to stab you and kill you if you're American and a capitalist. It's kind of rule number one, bro. I'm pretty sure that's why communism started. I'm pretty sure that's why Lenin was like, no, let's actually start doing this. That was Marx's inspiration for writing the Communist Manifesto. He was just thinking, I've got to figure out a way to, you know, I got to put this in writing. Because every time that I've told people I'm a communist, I never get threatened with a knife. But every time, you know, I see some of these people coming around here talking about, oh, I'm, you know, have you heard of this business? Oh, I'm here to sell you something. Knives right away. So I feel like there's something here. There's something here. I don't know why. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something here. And then he wrote the Communist Manifesto. Next one comes from Error Opposite 9314. January 1979, Iran. I'm 9 years old. My mom is a low-level diplomat. She comes home from work and says, we have 90 minutes to get to the airport to get out of the country. Excuse me. She knew the Shah's family and was sitting on and was getting on a plane that the overthrow of the government was days, if not hours away. We got on the cargo plane with one suitcase between the four of us and maybe $500. Sure enough, next day was the overthrow, and lots of people were killed or executed. That's how I wound up in the United States. Holy crap, dude. That's kind of an intense story, bro. You really missed you literally dodged a bullet. You kind of dodged a massive explosion and bomb and grenade. You know, though, I was thinking about this. This made me think of the terrorist attack episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And it's like, you guys didn't tell your friends? Like, you guys are all packed up in a hurry. Everything's just, you know, zipped up, packed up. And they're like, oh, why are you guys packing? Nothing, literally nothing. We're not going anywhere. Why? Where are you going? Are you going somewhere? I thought you were going on vacation, actually. That's super weird. No, yeah, I have nothing going on. I couldn't even imagine going somewhere with anything at all. I actually hate things and going places. I hate traveling. I want to be here all the time, every day. I wish, probably, especially tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow. You can bet your ass I'm here tomorrow. Like, you just didn't tell any of your neighbors. You just kind of kept them in the dark. It's like, oh yeah, this is like a top secret thing. So you're just gonna leave your next door neighbor in, you know, burning and shot to death. That doesn't seem like it's like sacrifices have to be made. Not really. Cargo planes are massive. I don't know if you know much about cargo planes, but cargo planes are called cargo planes because they're fucking huge and they hold a lot of cargo. That's what they're meant for, is to literally hold things. That is their sole purpose, is to hold a lot of things. They're very large airplanes. And you couldn't just throw a couple extra people on. You couldn't just be like, the pilot said we're running out of space. Pilot said we're over the weight limit or something. Yeah. Apparently too much carry-on. Too many carry-on bags, actually. So, yeah, that sucks. Apparently, yeah, someone had the bright idea to bring two carry-ons. Now we just hit the weight limit. So sorry guys. I know it's a real bummer, but you know, we'll see you. Maybe we'll just. How about we just say goodbye? How about we just put her there? put her there. It's great being neighbors with you. All right, you get it. You get it.
Business taxes. Was stressing about all the time and all the money you spent on your taxes.
This is my bill?
Now Business Taxes is a TurboTax small business expert who does your taxes for you and offers year-round advice at no additional cost, so you can keep more money in your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on turbotax.com/business. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Next one comes from Vanilla Cannoli. I was out on a run and I noticed this old woman, probably 60 or 70, sitting on the curb. She waved me down, so I ran over to her. She needed help getting up, but as we were talking, I got this feeling in my gut that something was off. I felt really horrible abandoning an older woman who claimed to need help, but I couldn't shake that feeling, so I apologized for not being able to help and ran off. I look back just a few seconds later, and this dude in a black truck pulls up to her, and she gets up and gets in no problem. I probably broke a PR and ran home so fast. Maybe I was just a paranoid female teenager, but to this day, 15 years later, I still get chills thinking about it, and I feel like it may have been a ploy to try to kidnap me. I was training for a marathon and ran that route a lot, so they could have been expecting me. Or it was just an old woman on the ground and you just didn't help her. Yeah, it's like the reason they got in so fast is because he just was a big dude and just fucking threw her in. They literally drove past you and called you an asshole. You just had your massive Beats headphones on. You had your over-ear Apple AirPods Max headphones on. Noise canceling. Couldn't hear shit. And he literally drove past you and was like, you were a total asshole. This woman is dementiated. She broke her hip. And you just were like, I'm sorry, lady. I'm running a marathon at my time. I almost hit my time. I gotta be under. I'm trying to go for 3 hours. Trying to go for just under 3 hours here. It's a big goal of mine. This is a big goal. I'm sorry. I'm so close. I'm so close to hitting my time. I wish I could help you and try to help you figure out who you are and maybe get you to a hospital, but I'm so close to hitting my PR. I'm so close to hitting my record. I can't leave this behind. This is years of what I've been building towards, okay? You might have a little sympathy for me. That's crazy. I'm making jokes here, but I could see some shit like that. It's so crazy to me to think about like how there are people who will stage acts like this, genuine acts, like hoping that people will hoping to appeal to people's act of kindness and act of compassion for other people, and they'll just take advantage of it to basically rob you or kidnap you or do some crazy messed up shit. Like that to me is like the epitome of vileness. Okay, is like, okay, like it's not like you just went up to somebody, held a gun at them and was like, "Give me your money." No, you had to set a stage. You had to conjure up a situation in which is going to appeal to someone's good-hearted nature, and then you deceive them and basically give them a giant middle finger twice. So not only is it bad enough that you're getting robbed, but you only are getting robbed because you thought you were doing a good thing. That is insane, bro. The level of deviousness that you need to have as a person to be like, yeah, we'll just make it think where they're helping some old lady and then I'm gonna cut their toes off. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Next one comes from Blind Octopus. 2 a.m. or so, driving in an old unlit road. There was this guy laying on the road perpendicular. Sorry, there's this guy, oh my, holy crap. I feel like someone's going to clip that, bro. So Blind Octopus, 2 a.m. or so, driving on an unlit road. There was this guy laying on the road perpendicular to the road. The person driving slowed down and started to take off his seatbelt to move the person off the road. You said, bro, too much. I think it's just called repetition, bro. Too much repetition. All right, you don't need to say road that many times. We know you're on the road. Bro, where does this happen? The road? I wonder what road this was. Bro, it was the road. We get it. Something felt off, so I told him to not stop and drive around. The body wasn't there anymore on the way back. Could have been a drunk guy, or it could have been a trap. I'll never know. Bro, what is up with staging road accidents, man? What is up with this staging of trying to people's genuine sense of care for other kindness and for other human beings, just to be like, I know you guys thought you were doing a good thing, but I'm actually gonna kill you now. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that one. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, it's a pretty good prank, bro. You should see your face, bro. It's that's priceless, man. That's freaking priceless. This isn't Impractical Jokers, bro. Like, what do we like? Come on, what do we think this is? So the next one comes from The Tired Ninja. I flew into a smaller terminal at the Cancun International Airport with 2 friends. I'm American and they're European nationals. After a passport control, a border patrol agent says they have a taxi waiting for us if we'd like to take it. I decline, saying I'd rather take the shuttle to the main airport, but my 2 friends tell me I'm being paranoid and to get into the car. It was locked from the inside, but luckily, the Mexican police show up before the car starts driving. They tell us it's an illegal taxi, and they offer to give us a ride to the hotel instead. Before my friends can answer, I say thanks, but no thanks. We will finally take the shuttle, called a real taxi, and made it to our hotel safely. It was one of the few times being a paranoid American really worked out. Dude, Europeans, bro, they just think everyone is nice. They just think everyone is a good person. This is so funny. I know somebody who lives in Europe, like is from Europe, and and is living there currently now. And it is so funny, just the level of like naivety that Europeans have about just how dangerous things are. Like, someone in Europe will get the biggest crime someone will experience in Europe will be like, there will be one mugging in the last 20 years in the city, and everyone's like, how could this possibly happen? This is an abomination. And it's like, yeah, people here pretend to be dying grandmas, and then when you go up to them, they will pull a gun out on you and tell you to give them everything you have, and will probably still shoot you afterwards after you give them your money. So, like, it's just, like, not everybody's nice, bro. Not everyone's nice. Coming from a Canadian who's, like, stereotypically, we're supposed to be nice people. Bro, there are tons of people out on the street here that I would never talk to, okay? It's just no level of motivation with me or convincing is going to make me think that I need to talk to this person right now. I am terrified of this person. Okay, this is just giving me very concerned vibes. It's like, oh no, we will just ask them for a ride to the airport. Yeah, until he brings you out into the middle of a desert, puts a bag over your head, and shoots you into a grave for not wire transferring him $500,000. Yeah, what a great idea. It's like, oh, that stuff just happens in the movies. It's like, those movies are based on real life events. The TV show Narcos? Yeah, that's a real thing. Okay, that's not just a TV show. Okay, it is, yes, but Narcos is based on a real dude who killed a lot of people, and a lot of those shows are. I don't know if you know much about like the cartels and the drug stuff, but that's not TV. TV is based off of that. Like, TV couldn't come up with crazy enough stories on their own. They just had to look up the crazy shit the Cartel does. Their stories are already written for them. Oh yeah, this guy's eyes were gouged out and he bled to death because they cut off his arms. So he couldn't even heal himself. And his feet, and just left him out in the middle of the desert. That's not made up, bro. That was based, they found that guy last week. Okay? He was a European who took the wrong taxi. I'm just kidding. Next one comes from Nautism, was part of a wilderness camping trip as a kid with counselors in the mountains. We had just set up a camp where all of a sudden people from higher up were fleeing down and everyone was in a panic. There was a forest fire rapidly descending down towards us. Holy crap. The counselors basically threw what they could back in the vans and wrangled up about 15 kids and got us out. We ended up at some random restaurant. As an adult, I think about how terrifying it must have been for those young counselors responsible for a bunch of 10-year-olds' lives to get us to safety. Yeah, bro. That's crazy. What if I'm just imagining there's like that one kid that everyone hates, and then all the kids are just me like where's Johnny? Yeah, I don't even know. I don't think he came, actually. I don't think I saw him. I actually don't think I saw him at all. I think he stayed behind. I'm pretty sure, actually. No, he definitely didn't say he needed to take a piss. I don't remember him saying that. I definitely don't remember him saying he was going to go pee in the woods. No, definitely doesn't sound familiar to me at all. No. Not ringing any bells, but we should probably get out of here. Hey, Teach? We should probably get out of here. This doesn't seem super safe for me. This doesn't seem great to me. But yeah, why don't we just, we're killing time here. Like this we need to get the show on the road. What a crazy a forest fire, bro. Like, honestly, that's another situation where I feel like I would just kind of be like, do I just give up? Like, what do I do? Like, a massive wave of flames is just engulfing me faster than I can run. This just seems like, what do I do at this point? Can you escape a forest fire? Is that like a thing? Can you even actually do that? I feel like you probably pick up pretty quick. I mean, it seems yeah. I don't know how much notice you're getting before you see the giant flames in the forest. If you can just be like, damn, bro, my hot dog's not quite done yet, though. I'm literally just about finished, man. Do you think we have enough time before the fire reaches us for me to finish my hot dog, like, roasting on the fire here? Do you think you have enough time? Dude, I'm literally almost done my s'more. My fucking marshmallow's perfectly golden brown, okay? It's just about to get there. What, are you going to wait just because this is a giant forest fire? I don't know, bro. I've waited a long time for this s'more. Nothing is like a campfire s'more. Next one comes from Geninator. Driving in Mexico, north of Monterrey, I was in a big Suburban and suddenly felt this bump from behind. We look over to see a taxi with two guys in the front, and they're waving for me to pull over. I noticed there was no back seat, and I immediately thought, nope, not pulling over. Ended up pulling over to end up getting robbed, raped, and shot in the head. Shot in the desert. I said, shot in the desert. I floored it and left them behind. Probably a good move. If someone's trying to pull you over by bumping the back of your car, gonna just go out on a limb here and say that they're probably not just pulling you over to let you know your tail light's out. They're probably not just gonna be like, oh, just thought I'd let you know. It just seems like you should probably know your brake light's off. Your brake light's out. Just thought I'd be a good citizen and let you know. Just thought I'd give you a little love tap there. Boom, little. And then let you go on your merry way. Yeah, I'm highly skeptical of that. Next one comes from I Wrestle Sausages. Sounds sussy. Won't be as bad as some, but I was driving in a remote Cambridgeshire fens, bro. Won't be as bad as some. If the location of your story takes place in Cambridgeshire fens, you're British, bro. Like, what? Did someone's crime was you stepped on someone's foot? Like, this is... Come on, bro. This isn't crime, bro. 40-ish miles of terrible roads. Sun was going down. We pulled into a Dodge flat roof pub to use the bathroom. Went in and the bar was completely full of blokes silently watching the TV. Not one of them moved or said anything or acknowledged me in any way. Not even the barman. Got to the bathroom. Light wasn't working. Had to piss in the pitch black. Blokes were in the same positions when I got out. Got back in the car and girlfriend said she needed to go to the bathroom. Told her to put her seatbelt back on because we were leaving now. Before we were just burnt. Before we're burnt in the Wicker Man. I have no idea what this is. This is so British coded, bro. No one knows what you're saying. I know it sounds silly. I just didn't want to be there when the sun went down. Drove like the clappers until I reached the motorway, and then we pulled over again. Not sure why. So you just pissed in the bathroom, and then you're just like, sorry, babe. Side of the road it is for you. Won't even go there in with you. I'm not gonna. You think I'm gonna protect you? Not happening. Honestly, though, it's kind of probably a good idea. Because even if you would have went in there with her, you are severely outnumbered. So that's sorry, it sucks. It definitely sucks. But yeah, babe. No, he was just lying. There was just hot dudes in there, and he's just super insecure. He was just like, yeah, actually, it's really dirty in there, and there's tons of like guys who are looking to probably kill you, probably. Yeah, and there's definitely not like super hot guys in there, so we probably shouldn't even step foot in there. Yeah, it's not even close. Yeah, it's just terrible. Not sure why, but one of the creepiest and most unnerving experiences I've ever had. Something just told me to scarper. Bro, you're using too much British lingo. Okay, it's too British coded. All right, you need to loosen up. All right, we all speak regular English. Okay. You need to realize your audience here. No, I'm just kidding. Regular English. It's so funny when you spend time with someone who's like British or Australian, and you see how they talk, and you're just like, oh, this isn't just a novelty. You actually talk like this. Like they use different terms for different things. Like someone asked me for something, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Like I have no idea what you're talking about. But that it just you'd use different words. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you guys were actually like that. And then I'm like, obviously you guys are actually like that. It's literally English. They gave it to us, bro. Let's read off one more here. This one comes from Buddy Tho 92. I was at an outdoor music festival as a teen in the heat of summer with a delay in the setup of the next band. We were in the middle of the crowd and the energy was becoming very tense. People started throwing flattened water bottles across the crowd at stage hands that were moving as fast as they could to fix whatever the issue was. By the time the pre-show started, the crowd began to sway involuntarily from assholes pushing from the back. We agreed it was time to go, but then the band came on as we were trying to move sideways out of the crowd and everyone rushed forward. A 300-pound dude fell on my friends, and it took us 5 men to get him off of us while others were around us trying to hold back the rush. Once we were up and moving again, a mosh pit broke out around us. I will never forget the 6'5" punk with a red mohawk that saw our trouble and shouted, "The only way out is up," and offered us his laced hands for us to take a step as he tossed us up to crowd surf out. I almost lost my shoe while crowd surfing, but we made it out safely and hung back for the rest of the shows. God save the punks. Bro, this is the thing with like music festivals. Like crazy massive music festivals like that, they sound cool, but if you were actually in that, it sounds like it really fucking sucks. Oh, I could die by just standing next to people. I will suffocate by just being around too many people. Like, and it just, what sounds appealing about standing next to like thousands and thousands of people, like 10,000 people? That it doesn't sound. I'm not even going to enjoy the music. How can I enjoy the concert and the music if I'm standing around 10,000 people? It's like, this isn't. I'd rather just go to a bar and watch somebody perform on their guitar. Like, oh yeah, I think if you squint enough, you could maybe make out Travis Scott's hair. It's like, this is nothing about this sounds appealing to me, like at all. Okay, folks, we're gonna wrap it up there for this week's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning into another episode of the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I'm your host, Luke Dick. Now, remember, please, if you're listening to this episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. Helps out the show so much. Remember to join the subreddit, r/Reddit asks us, and respond to this week's episode's question. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace out. Love you. Goodbye.